futures red across the board here today. Nasdaq actually just dipping into the red. That was green a little bit earlier. S&P futures down 0.19%. The Dow futures down 0.40%. And the Nasdaq now down 0.09%. Again, that actually came from green territory about an hour ago. So we'll see if any of these bounce here today. We've seen bounces quite a bit. All right, let's take a look at some cues from last session here. Let me get this all queued up for you. Energy and information technology stocks bucked the overall market trend on Monday, closing the session higher, while most sectors on the S&P 500 closed on a negative note, with utilities, consumer discretionary, and real estate stocks recording the biggest losses. U.S. stock futures fell a little bit on Tuesday after a record close on Monday, starting the month of June on a positive note. Remember, we also had inflows yesterday for being the first of the month. President Trump appeared unfazed by the possibility of negotiations collapsing with Iran. Quote, "I really don't care. I couldn't care less," end quote. Trump told CNBC when he was asked about reports suggesting that Iran may halt talks with Washington. Also, he predicted that crude would soon be, quote, "dropping like a rock," end quote, and gasoline would plummet to $1.85 a gallon once the crisis resolves. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.43%, and the 2-year bond was at 4.02%. CME Group's Fed Watch Tool projections show that the markets are pricing in a 98.4% likelihood that the Federal Reserve leaves the current interest rates unchanged during the June meeting. Now, I've got several stocks in focus for you here today. The first one is going to be Hewlett-Packard. This is ticker HPE. So this is Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. It surged 26.6% in the pre-market on Tuesday after it reported higher than expected second quarter results after the market closed. Company's EPS came in at 79 cents. That was ahead of consensus at 53 cents. And it posted revenue of $10.68 billion, which beat the estimate of $9.79 billion. The next stock on our list is going to be Google or Alphabet. The ticker here is GOOG or GOOGL. And it was 2.48% lower as the Google parent company announced plans to sell stock worth $80 billion, including a $10 billion investment by Berkshire Hathaway, ticker BRK/A, BRK/B. And they did this to raise money for the AI build-out. So it was an $80 billion offering. $10 billion of that was actually a private placement with Berkshire. That's why it's moving down. And I actually have a story for you and some more opinion on that coming up here. But they're doing it to raise money for the AI build-out. Now, you could look at this two ways. If that goes well, probably not going to hurt the stock in the long run. If they raise this money and the AI build-out slows down or fizzles at all, that's where we might see problems. Too early to say just yet. The next stock on our list is going to be Super Micro Computer, and the ticker is SMCI. It advanced 5.06% as it is a direct HPE rival in the high-density AI server market. The sympathy moves underscore the market's view that HPE's AI-driven demand surge isn't company-specific. Rather, it is a sector-wide tailwind. The next stock on our list, big show winner, Marvell. Ticker is MRVL, and it soared 25.32% as NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang said it was, quote, the next trillion-dollar company, end quote, at the Computex conference in Taipei, Taiwan. The final stock on our list is going to be Palo Alto Networks. The ticker on this one is PANW, and it was 0.28% lower as analysts expect it to report earnings of 78 cents to 81 cents on revenue of $2.94 billion, and that comes after the closing bell today.